program is from NET, the Public Television Network.
Jumbo. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm Lou House with William Greaves, welcoming you to Black Journal's first anniversary program. If you remember, it was 1 year ago that Black Journal first went on the air. Something can be implied about this country when 12 months after we began, Black Journal is still the only nationally televised program in America controlled by and for black people. An average of 1,800 program hours per month is aired nationally by network television. That's a big wow. And only 1 hour this time is relegated to a program which is specifically designed for and controlled by blacks. And that program is Black Journal. Significant events this past year have brought about changes in the Afro-American community. Our struggle has expanded and taken many forms. We went to Washington with the Poor People's Campaign. We challenged political structures in such areas as Los Angeles, California, and Fayette, Mississippi. We've won some battles for freedom, and we've lost some. But more importantly, black people in America have begun to get together, get on the case. While our struggle for human dignity continues, we are growing stronger. Now, Brother Bill, what have you got for us?
Well, throughout the summer months, we will highlight some of our past material which we feel is pertinent today. One of Black Journal's first stories focused on the Black Panthers. Last year, the Panthers were a small group of brothers located primarily in Oakland, California. They first gained national attention when they entered the state legislature in Sacramento, carrying guns and protesting police brutality. Today, the Panthers are once again a big news item as their membership and activity grows. A year ago, Black Journal sent a film crew to California, and Lou House had that story.
Huey Newton, the leader of the militant Black Panther Party, will go on trial July 15th in Oakland, California, accused of murdering a policeman. The Black Panther Party has attracted strong national support from radicals and intellectuals, black and white. The Panthers openly advocate the use of guns against the police, claiming that they don't attack, but will only shoot in self-defense, a point disputed by Bay Area law enforcement agencies. The Panthers say this is the only means of ridding the black ghetto of what they call police brutality and oppression. The party was founded in 1966 by Huey Newton and has membership estimated between 250 and 1,000. Within the last 8 months, their policy and police response has led to 2 major gun battles and to the deaths of a policeman and a Panther teenager.
I'm telling you to take your hands off me.
The Black Panthers first made national news just a year ago when they entered the state capitol in Sacramento armed with rifles and pistols. They were there, they said, to demonstrate opposition to the proposed legislation that would outlaw the carrying of loaded weapons.
Wait a minute, now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was under arrest. Am I under arrest? Am I under arrest? You place him under arrest. Go ahead, brother. Am I under arrest? Take your hands off me if I'm not under arrest. Am I under arrest? I'm telling you to take your hands off me.
In the year following this incident, there were a series of armed confrontations between the Oakland police and the Panthers. The police maintain the Panthers have provoked these incidents. The Panthers claim the police are trying to liquidate their leadership and destroy the party. Last April, when Oakland police stopped a carload of Panthers, a gun battle broke out in this house. The details remain confused. Both sides claim they fired in self-defense. After 90 minutes of shooting, the Panthers surrendered. The Panthers say 17-year-old Bobby Hutton came out first with his hands up and was shot to death. The police say they thought he had a gun and was trying to escape. Eldridge Cleaver, author of the much-praised book Soul on Ice and Panther leader, was shot by police and arrested in the incident. Oakland Police Chief Gain.
There have been many people in this city who have maligned this police department, who have, through some maudlin sentimentality or other reason, sympathized with the Black Panthers and the peace and freedom movement. And what real evidence is there to cause people to be so sick as to do that aligning? Take a look at this maudlin, unjustified junk that has been put out Bobby Hutton. They try to deify one who tried to murder policemen. And what do they say on this piece of paper? A black man who dedicated his life to defending the black community from racist oppression was murdered in cold blood by Oakland police. Ridiculous lies, ridiculous attempts to create prejudice. The Black Panther Party poses a real threat to the peace and tranquility of the city of Oakland.
The Panthers have a different version of their role. Huey Newton, Panther leader, will soon be on trial for his life. We asked him about the origins of the party and their concept of self-defense.
We use the Black Panther as our symbol because of the nature of a panther. A panther doesn't strike anyone, but when he's assailed upon, that he'll back up first. But if the aggressor continues, then he'll strike out. He'll wipe out his aggressor thoroughly, wholly, absolutely, and completely. The party is I like to call it a second party rather than a third party, because we see very little difference as far as black people are concerned between the Republican or Democratic Party here in the United States. We view ourselves as a colonized people. So we're in a situation of a mother country and a colony. And the politics of the mother country has not answered the needs of the black subjects in the colony. So therefore, this is a black political party, and it's a vanguard group for the freedom of black people. Originally, our party was called the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. The name now has been changed to the Black Panther Party because many people misunderstood the scope of self-defense. The power structure, the establishment, has been aggressive towards us in every area, the social area, the economical area, and the political area. So therefore, we felt it necessary to erect a political party to defend and promote the general interests of black people. Aggression in the economical area is as real as aggression physically by the racist police that occupy our community as a foreign troop occupies territory.
While continuing their defiant stand against the police, they seek support by running candidates on the white organized Peace and Freedom Party ticket and are publishing their own newspaper. Bobby Seale, Panther chairman.
Every Saturday. Yeah, and this paper is did by black people. We're trying to unify black people around this program here. This is, in fact, what the program of the party is about. We say we want full employment. Every black man wants full employment. You know that. We want an end to the robbery by the white man of our black community. That's what we're talking about, like number 3. Number 4, we want decent housing, fit for shelter, human beings. You dig? And then we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present-day society. We want all black men to be exempt from military service. You dig? We want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county jails, city prisons, and jails, right? You know how black people is hung up, the man's railroading us through the prisons. You dig? We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. Basically, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace.
We don't want no white man, in our organization.
We don't have white people in the organization. What we do, white people who want to help, this organization is so controlled by black people, we direct those white people what they can do and what they have to do to start stopping that racism. You dig what I'm saying? And we don't want them down here in our community controlling us. That's what we talking about.
So tell them to go home and watch their own.
Go home and change the racism now.
The Panthers support this boycott of an Oakland supermarket organized by the Blacks for Justice Committee, whose spokesman is on the Panther Advisory Committee, Paul Cobb.
We checked with the Better Business Bureau and a lot of consumer community organizations about, we've had repeated complaints about the meats here. They're the worst in the city. The sanitary condition of the store is the worst. 96% of the people who shop here are black, and less than 5% of the people who work here are black. This is inequitable, and this is why we're here. And there is a connection between boycotting here at Housewives and the indictment of the murder of Bobby Hutton. And police brutality is connected because the economic interests that control this city also control the policy of the police department. We're saying that it's regrettable that there's a need for police in this society. But since this society is so racist, we have to have police. But the issue is who should control those police? And we're saying the black people should control the police. 68% of the policemen in the city of Oakland live outside of the city of Oakland. We're saying that the police must live in the black community, so they will have an opportunity to relate to humans properly, and they must be black.
The major issue in race relations in Oakland is the continued friction between the black community and the police. Both sides are holding firm to their positions, and the situation remains potentially explosive. We asked Carlton Goodlett, publisher of the influential San Francisco black weekly, The Sun Reporter, for his evaluation and comment.
I believe that the police department is slowly but surely becoming the provocateurs and the inciters of incidents that could very easily lead to the extermination, if necessary, of members of the Black Panther Party. I do believe that the possibilities of racial harmony and peace in Oakland is certainly on trial. If the police respond to the demands of these young people for the ending of two standards of police action, one for white citizens apprehended and one for black, then probably racial peace can be restored in that city. If not, we would see ourselves move precipitously to that separation mentioned in the President's Commission on Civil Disorders of one nation, black on one hand, and one nation, white, on the other.
Most of us blacks are hip to the political pressure that has hit the Panther leadership. Huey Newton, despite the appeal of his case, is still in jail. Bobby Seale awaits trial on conspiracy charges stemming from his part in demonstrations at Chicago's Democratic Convention. Eldridge Cleaver, reportedly in Cuba, went underground after several confrontations with police and just before he was to begin another jail term. Brother Bill?
Membership in the Panthers has grown rapidly. Organized to combat police brutality in black communities, today the Panthers are involved in a wide range of political and community activity, ranging from self-defense to feeding hungry children. One aspect of the Panthers is certain. The group is a growing force in the black community, affecting people from all walks of life, perhaps even the black cop.
The black community, with its new sense of revolutionary pride, has increasingly come into conflict with police establishment. Significant elements of the black community view the police as agents of the white power structure who seek to maintain order at the expense of justice. As more efforts are made to recruit blacks for local police forces across the country, black communities are more and more turning their attention to the black cop. Now Black Journal asks, who is the black cop and where is he at?
In New York City, whose black population approaches 20%, only 6% of the police force is black. David Walker is one of the 1,400 black members of New York's finest. His goal has always been to be a cop. Now a veteran of 2 years on the force, his beat is Central Harlem, a community bursting at the seams with a new sense of black awareness. As a black cop, David Walker's allegiance to this ideal is constantly under question.
All of this basically is an education for me because I'm with life. I'm very close to life. I'm seeing all phases of life being performed. I see birth and I see death. And I think performing in that sort of a function, I'm fulfilling my own life and being of a service to the community. I feel my job is to protect property and life and property, right? But I'm not going to put myself in the position of the judge, the jury, and the executioner, you understand? If I shoot that fellow for stealing a TV or a case of beer, why should I shoot him? When he goes to trial in court, the maximum sentence he'll get is about 2 years. So why should I shoot a kid? I'm executing him at the same time. I'm just as loyal as any other cop. I feel them feeling for my loyalty. It's hard to explain, but it's like having a monkey on your back. A white officer feel that because you're black, working in a black community, you should be out in the front. You should be the front runner, the suppression of crime, controlling the situation. They look at you. I feel them looking at me all the time, looking at how I handle a certain situation. And in fact, I'm careful because I feel I'm being used as a guide, and they've learned from me.
my keys, man. You give my keys, man. Where's he at? You give my keys, man. I don't give a damn about nothing. You give my keys, man. You give my keys about what? You give my keys about what? Don't hurt you, brother. You good about what? Don't hurt you. Don't let me hurt you. I ain't hurt you, man. Don't get excited, buddy. Just be cool. I want my keys. I want my keys. Relax. Let's square this away, all right? Let's calm like a man. Man. Control yourself. Grown man, control yourself. I don't give about a grown man nothing. You took my keys, right? Get out of bro, that's all. Be cool. Be cool. All right, relax.
We're being used like tools for the system of black cop today, which I think is unfortunate. There's a lot about the system that should be changed, a lot of changes that should be made. And unfortunately, I'm not in a position to make these changes. If I can help in any way to change the system, I'll help as much as I can. Black power? It's a difficult position to put yourself in, really. All these organizations, I feel, help our people in some way. Anything that can help our people, it's beautiful to me, really. As long as you don't overdo it. When I say overdo it, I mean exaggerate the point one day and run away the next day. You want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, give me, let's say, that.
We have a few militants out there in the street who are hopping and barking about what should happen, how many changes should be taking place. And as soon as their point is made, as soon as a little money is put in their pocket, they'll make it the next day. You won't see them again for a while. Then they'll come back next week and try to make money another way. Extortionists, I call them.
Black man as a policeman, he's out of the category of being black any longer, because just the mere thing of him being a policeman shows that he's turned against blackness, because to be a policeman, he has to think like a policeman, and the originating of police was the white man, in this country anyway. So therefore, he has to think like the white man, he has to act like the white man, he has to treat you like the white man treats you. So if you riding down the street and they both stop you, he's going to treat you worse than the white man does to prove to him that he is qualified to be a police with him. So therefore, he's nothing but Uncle Tom.
I don't feel completely together inside, because I know I'm caught in the middle. I think the thing to do is to keep trying to find a way out. And not until I find that way out will I actually be comfortable with myself.
Deputy Inspector Arthur C. Hill, commander of the 28th Precinct in Harlem and one of the highest-ranking black men on the New York force, discusses the black officer's dilemma.
I would suspect that most black officers, as I do, wear two hats. And I would suspect strongly that officers have a problem in identifying which self to surface. And I personally, this is just an opinion, I see, unless conditions change, black officers, or at least black administrators in police agencies, having definite problems psychological problem. Much of the community views him as a representative of the establishment that they consider responsible for their plight. And in many ways, they see him as some kind of Judas. Many black officers are very sensitive to the needs and the problems of the black communities. This is one of the reasons that we're so much in demand of black officers. This is why we're trying to gear some of our recruitment to black communities to increase these. Of necessity, a black man can empathize and understand black problems better, I believe. I've met some white officers that, because of their socialization process, do really dig black people, do understand the problem, and do relate very positively. I've seen some, right in this command. So I would not eliminate anyone from serving the black community based on skin color, per se. No, I'm not at that position. I do think that by and large, generally black officers can understand the mores and the folkways and the values of black people to a greater extent than white people that came from a foreign environment, so to speak, like suburbia.
We asked Deputy Inspector Hill whether civilians should be in control of the police.
I would suspect that, as was brought out in the paper, the white cops felt that civilians didn't have the sophistication or expertise to evaluate police conduct. This is just the reason why I think I favor it. I believe in civilian control of military and police institutions. I think we tread on dangerous ground when the civilian can't control these organizations.
In Los Angeles, 4% of the police force is black, while 14% of the population is black. Elements of the black community consider the black cop to be even more repressive than his white counterpart.
Their motto is to protect and serve, but they don't protect the black cats off in the ghetto. They more or less harass them.
Don't ask me if a black cop should shoot looters. A policeman is a policeman, no matter the color. Now, whether policemen should shoot looters is the question.
To be a policeman, it takes a certain kind of person. And my own personal opinion is that they usually are brutal. They like the instant authority that comes with the badge and the uniform.
Harrison Bailey is one of 200 black policemen on the Los Angeles force. A veteran of 20 years, Officer Bailey prepares for night patrol in the Wilshire section of Los Angeles.
I prefer as being a working policeman in the street. Between the two of us, my partner and I, we have almost 40 years of experience. I think in my original training, I go back to the concept of the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. If the law was enforced to the letter of the law in every instance, then sometimes justice wouldn't prevail.
14 ball, 3 ball going in with it. It's going to fight. Thank you.
Some individuals are going to be, so to speak, a little drunk with power. I have seen it. I don't feel that way because over a period of years, I've gotten to the place where I don't have that personal feeling, or I don't become emotionally involved in a situation whereby it's a direct affront towards me as an individual. I've been called an Uncle Tom more than once. A model respect that all policemen have, be black or white, has gone down over a period of years due to the way the laws have been changed around in the way the courts have handled the situation?
Well, I've had experiences with black cops that came down in a worse manner than the white ones have. More brutal. I don't know. It's just an ego thing with them.
Anytime a man can deprive another person of his liberty, he's not going to like you. I mean, there's no way in the world that you're going to get people to actually love a policeman.
He's not going into the white neighborhoods, stopping these people from doing things. He's coming around us. He can mingle with us because he's black, and then he takes advantage of us in so many different ways. You know, like, for instance, okay, we get stopped. Instead of normally, you know, get pulled over to the side and they say, okay, give me an operator's license or something like this, you know. You don't get this kind of treatment. You get knocked up against the car or something of this nature. It's really brutality.
Seem to take the attitude that just because they are black, the law doesn't apply to them equally as well as somebody else. And I think this is where part of the problem lies. They want to be exempt from the law because I am of color and I am a policeman, so they feel that I should allow them to go and take somebody else. But I don't feel that way about it at all.
Lieutenant Edward C. Henry, highest-ranking Negro on the Los Angeles force.
I think it's very important the manner in which the officer conducts himself. If he conducts himself in a manner in which will invite to respect of the community, then he will get it. But if he doesn't, then he will receive the disfavor of the community, and they will not respect him. And he is the officer who is accused of being the Uncle Tom and being a traitor to the black community. I think if the black policeman would identify his role as a policeman as opposed to his role as a Negro, then this dilemma would be somewhat lessened or even completely eliminated.
The black cop is the man in the middle. He seeks acceptance in the police community, which reflects the white society and the status quo. On the other hand, he's a black man from a black community, which is demanding change, a community which continues to ask him, which side is he on? Karate is fast becoming a popular American sport. It teaches self-defense and emphasizes spiritual goals of self-discipline, graciousness, moderation, and pride. John Blair was first introduced to karate while in the Air Force and has earned the high distinction of the black belt.
I will practice every day. I will practice every day. I will respect...
In this special Harlem summer class, Blair stresses both physical and mental training. Blair is uniquely talented. He's both a master of karate and an accomplished jazz violinist. He performs with the John Lewis Trio. He has created a new art form by combining the sounds of modern jazz with the choreography of karate. The results transcend both arts. Ronald Takanashi, a superb karate man, is warming up for the kata, the essence of karate. Blair recognized the magnificent dance-like movements, the precision and the intricacy of karate, but he turned it into something much more. He has created a new kind of emotional experience, a new entertainment form. Operating almost as one unit, the musicians improvise to the karate movements. kata is perfected, the kumite, or free fighting, becomes a breathtaking ballet. John Blair continues the long tradition of black artists who have brought their special talents to enrich the cultural life of this country.
All hid, 5, 10, 15, 20 is all hid, all hid.
For children, summer is a time not for school, but for fun. And here with a look at children's games, down home and up in here, is Leon Bibb.
I got up and let them in. Children's games are much the same the world over. The only important difference is that while the games may be played in the same way, the rhymes change from country to country, and within a country from section to section. There are games for schoolrooms, playgrounds, and the city streets, and the games draw their character from their locale. But whatever the surroundings, the enthusiasm for the game remains the same. I met Brer Rabbit in the pea vine. I asked him where was he gwine. That's from down home. On a recent visit to the Vineland Elementary School in North Carolina, we found that Southern games had much to do with animals and birds, things close to nature. For instance, they played a game called The Rabbit and the Hound. The hound chases the rabbit. The rabbit runs to find a nest. If the hound catches the rabbit, the hound becomes the rabbit, and so it goes. Here comes a bluebird through my window. Here comes a bluebird through my window.
Take a little dance with the goosey gander.
Take a little dance with the goosey gander.
Take a little dance with the goosey gander.
Hi-de-diddle-um-day, Evie-ivy over. I wonder what she's got for arithmetic.
Now it's time for spelling.
Spell cat.
Now it's time to change your tack. First, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th. E-V-I-V over. Teach with a big fat stick.
Now it's time to change your class.
I won't go to Macy's anymore, more.
Up north, not like down home. In the cities, the games that children play are not around trees and birds and animals. They instead reflect the day-to-day hard life experiences of the children of the city. All hid, 5, 10, 15, 20 is all hid, all hid, all hid. 5, 10, 15, 20 is all hid. That's a play party game, a hide-and-seek game. There are many that come from all parts of the country, rural and urban. For instance, hello, sir. Meet me at the grocer. No, sir. Why, sir? Because I have a soul, sir. Where'd you get the cold, sir? At the North Pole, sir. Let me hear you sneeze, sir. Achoo, 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 sir. Hello, 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 sir. Meet me at the grocer. No, sir, no, sir. Have you ever cold, sir? Where'd you get the cold, sir? At the North Pole, sir. Let me hear you whoop, sir. Achoo, 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 sir.
Miss Mary Mac, 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 all dressed in black, black, black.
All dressed in black, black, black with silver buttons, buttons, buttons all down her back, back, back. She asked her mother, mother, mother for 15 cents, cents to feed the Elvis, Elvis, Elvis on board a fence, fence, fence. They jumped so high, high, high. They reached the sky, sky, sky. They never came back, back, back till the 4th of July, July, July.
July, July, July.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All around my face is there.
All hit, all hit. 5, 10, 15, 20s, all hit, all hit, all hit. Old Uncle Ned fell out of bed, scratched his head with a hot piece of lead. He's all hit, all hit. 5, 10, 15, 20s, all hit. 5, 10, 15, 20s, all hit. Rock-a-bye, baby, in the treetop. Hey, hey, Jane, Jane, my lordy lord, Jane, Jane, I'm gonna buy Jane, Jane 3 mockingbirds, Jane, Jane. Miss Mary Mac, dressed in black, silver buttons up and down her back. I love coffee, I love tea, I love the pretty girl who loves me. Hey, hey, Jane, Jane, my lordy lord, Jane, Jane.
In the last 4 years, 59 cooperatives have sprung up in 11 southern states. 57 of them are black. The catalyst of this movement is a Catholic priest from Brooklyn, Father Albert McKnight, who in 1964 founded the first of these cooperatives, Southern Consumers in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, Southern Consumers has 2,000 members, owns 3 businesses, and is the motivating force behind a sweet potato cooperative, Yams, brother. Here with the report on the problems and progress of Southern Consumers is Father McKnight.
The thing that struck me when I first came to Louisiana and spent my first 4 years strictly in what you would call church work was how irrelevant much of my preaching was when trying to preach to people who were hungry, trying to teach Christian morality to a family of 12 living in a 2-room house. And I see that there's a close association between taking care of the needs of the body and administering to the spiritual needs of people. Delcombe here is a fishing town. That's where most of the people earn their livelihood. And yet there's not one black person who owns a boat. And we discussed the possibility of getting loans from the Farmers Home Administration for them to buy a boat. They finally granted a loan to a group of 3. And last year happened to be a bumper crop for shrimp and oysters. And we were hoping to get the boat at the beginning of the season, but with all the red tape, the loan didn't come through till actually at the end of the season, and they finally got the boat. We have found that you have to start where the people are, deal with the problems that they consider urgent, and then that way you can get them involved. And it was from that idea that we started what today is called Southern Consumers Cooperative, whereby members, people who wanted to become members would have to pay $5 entrance fee. Then they would sign a subscription contract whereby they would invest a minimum of $300. We got the idea of why not a statewide organization where people all over the state would be able to join, and then from that money, we could go into a variety of businesses. Last year, we bought a piece of property a couple of blocks down in which we hope to build our own gasoline station. And after we bought the piece of property, this station came available, and we decided that it would be good for us to lease this station for a couple of years and see whether we could really draw the patronage that would make it worthwhile for us to build our own. Very few people realize the psychological damage that has been done the black man because of racism in this country. And we find in black businesses it's very difficult to get black customers because of the psychological damage. Too many black people think that the white man's gas is better than the black man's gas. The white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. And it's an educational process that we have to go through trying to educate the people to patronize their own businesses. The bakery idea was to produce a quality fruitcake, and it was, at that time, we had several guidelines. We knew that we had little business experience, little management know-how. We didn't have too much capital, and we wanted a specialty item, something that we could start small and had hopes of growing big. Well, this year we've made the first breakthrough. Barricini is a candy company out of New York, and we've received an order from them for 10,000 two-pound fruitcakes, which actually is more than our total production last year of fruitcake. And we're hoping to land 2 other large orders like that that will establish a sound foundation for us so that we'll be able really to produce fruitcake 6 months out of the year. In Louisiana, we have the highest rate of interest, 42%. And it's the poor people who really have to pay that. So we got people together, talked about the problem, and then they decided to start saving their money, and from the money that they saved, they would borrow at a cheap rate of interest.
The People's Enterprise Loan Company, Incorporated, became a reality sometime in 1964. It was decided by the members that poor people are having a hard time getting ready cash from the local lending operations due to low income.
Most of the loans are for low-income families, and they haven't had any business experience before, and most of them can't qualify to get loans anywhere else. So usually it's used as a sort of business training for them too. So while they borrow, they invest. Each month, for every $100 they borrow, they invest $1 in either People's Enterprise or the cooperative.
Well, this is one of the largest areas in the country that grows sweet potatoes, or they grow more in this area than they do any other area in the country.
The 1965 potato harvest was extremely poor, and many of the farmers had to sell their sweet potatoes for between 50 and 75 cents for a crate of good potatoes. And we would talk about shipping our own sweet potatoes and forming an organization for that purpose. And out of that grew the Grand Marie Co-op. We got some technical assistance from Father McKnight at Southern Consumers, and this is the beginning of the 3rd season of the cooperative. We've had up to 500 people who patronize the cooperative at least once during that period.
The first year, they hired them a local broker. This broker, he knew that they were green in the business, and he took advantage of them. Then they contacted me about the first of the year, and I came here with them, and last year they were selling on consignment, and 1 or 2 loads that the brokers sold at the other end, they didn't get anything out of them. We sell A&P, one of the largest, Kroger, Safeway, firms like that.
Well, the thing that has really amazed me in this whole self-help activity is the hostility that is created and how people feel threatened when poor people start helping themselves. We've been accused of being communists. We have had a motion passed in the state legislature to investigate us. We've been investigated by the State Un-American Activity Committee, 2-day hearing in Lafayette. The DA has raided our office, seized our books. We had to go into federal court. We applied for a temporary restraining order from the local federal judge, but because of the local politics, he didn't want to become involved. We had to go to the Court of Appeals, where we did get a temporary restraining order, forcing him to hold a hearing. And since then, the local politicians have, I think, gotten respect for us now, and the harassment is undercover and not as open as it has been in the past. In this society, we are in need of genuine social and economic changes of institutions. The way people think and act have to be changed. The way the black man thinks about himself has to be changed. The way the white person thinks about black people have to be changed. And this change can only be brought about through small groups of people dealing with the problems, changing their own mentality, and then slowly working in the community, enlisting the assistance of other people.
Why does a cooperative in Louisiana succeed while another in Harlem doesn't seem to be making it? A cooperative organized and managed by blacks in San Francisco's Hunters Point district, a black community, nearly went out of business, although it often undersold its white competitors. Why? Any ideas, Lou?
Mentality, Bill. This past season, Black Journal focused on many emerging Afro-American economic programs. Although President Nixon campaigned a platform of economic help for blacks from the private sector, from all accounts, most blacks, leery of this patent solution, delivered him a meager vote of confidence. Yet the idea of black economic independence or economic self-help has taken root. Small businesses, industries, cooperative marketing, and other concepts of economic communities are being initiated. And many small businesses fail, but a few survive. And when one of our businesses fails, it could be that we, its patrons, have fallen victim to the semantics of color. George Taylor is here to tell us all about it. Rap, Brother George.
All my life through, I've been so black and blue. I'm white inside. That don't help my case. I can't hide what is on my face. Oh, yes. Ah, yes. Just the plaintive lyrics of the blues. Yes, it's that. But the lyrics tell a familiar story. White on the inside, but black on the outside. Why? Why do we think of black as bad and white as good? An interesting question? Well, that's what the semantics of color is all about. White symbolizes purity, honesty, innocence. A white lie, told without evil intent. White-handed, hands free of evil. White-minded, mental purity. Want to impart goodness? You add white. Black represents evil, wickedness, disgrace, and gloom. Black-hearted, mean and wicked, black-mouth, foul-talking, profane. Black Tuesday, disaster, blackball. Ha, you've had it. Want to make it bad? You add black. Even the poets used black as bad and white as good. Blake, in his Songs of Innocence, wrote, "My mother bore me in the southern wild, and I am black. But oh, my soul is white. White as the angel is the English child. But I am black, as though bereaved of light." Whites gave black its negative meaning, and with little choice, blacks accepted and helped to propagate it. And we did it mainly through our songs, such as, "What in the world did I do to be so black and blue?" The acceptance was unnoticed and for a long, long time unchallenged. And then suddenly, oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful, such beautiful people. A black consciousness revolution. A revolution that is filling the need for identity and pride by taking the historical negativeness of black and using it in a strong, positive way. As is the case with many revolutions, this one is being waged by our young blacks. We asked several of them, what does the expression "black is beautiful" and "it is so beautiful to be black" mean to you? They have their own unique way of expressing themselves. Listen.
It means exactly what it sounds like. Black is beautiful. It's beautiful to be black. Just like if I was white, I would say white is beautiful. It's beautiful to be white because this is a form of self-love, in my opinion. But I'm speaking just for myself. I can't speak for the whole race, but I think it's beautiful to be yourself.
And when you say black, I don't know, but it does something to me because a lot of people are afraid of that word black. But I am not afraid of it because if you take it for what it means, as I said to myself, black is a word that means beautiful to me and something that I really believe in for my race because it's something that brings us together and what we want to fight for. And a lot of us are not afraid of the word black the way the majority of people are because they don't understand it.
You know, well, in other words, you don't need no suntan or nothing like that to try to hide your color because black is beautiful.
Long times ago, you used to think that being black, you know, you were ashamed of it because you were, you know, supposed to be brainwashed by the white man that you were inferior to him. But now, you look at yourself and you see how beautiful you are, and you don't have to feel inferior to him anymore. And so when I hear the expression black is beautiful, I think of myself and all of my other black brothers and sisters. And that's what I feel of black is beautiful.
We've always been beautiful, but it's just that people are now discovering it, if that makes any sense. Like, we've always known, but people all over the world are beginning to really dig what it's all about now, and they've stopped suppressing us, and they're letting us go. So I think that's basically what it means, that black is beautiful, or it's hip to be black, because there are quite a few white people that would love to be black now.
But for young people especially, to know the beauty in being black, to know so much about your ancestors and the things you've done in this century, in this day, and in times past is so, it just means so much. It's like knowing your name, your address, these fundamental things. This is what should be known to all black people and to white people also. And when you know this, you know how truly beautiful black is, because, I don't know, it's just too good.
And that's where it's at. You're so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful, such beautiful people. And you're beautiful because you're black, 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 beautiful and black.
Well, good brothers and sisters, that's Black Journal for this evening. As we said earlier, there's been a great deal of creative activity and change in the black community this past year. The black policeman, for example, is moving toward closer identification with his black brothers and sisters. Groups of Afro-American police associations have been created in many areas of the country, and all observations point to this thing as yet another response to the problem of police brutality in black communities. It has taken some of us a while to understand that black is beautiful, and our problem of understanding our worth and our value was clearly described by George Taylor in his Semantics of Color. Some observers feel that blacks in America have been reacting to racist oppression, and that now, rather than reaction, what we need to do is to act, to build, to grow, to live, to share, to love, and to do. A man must act if he is to shape and control his destiny. If he does not do this, he is less than a man.
Next month, Culture on Black Journal. We'll take a look at some African and Afro-American history. There'll be a session with Elio Pomari's dance troupe, and Black Journal will take a look at Black theater. As many of you know, Black Journal is operating on a reduced budget. To continue presenting Black Journal in the fall, we need you, our viewing audience.
And if you want Black Journal to continue, brothers and sisters, send a letter or a postcard to Black Journal, NET, 10 Columbus Circle, New York City, New York, 119. So until next month, this is Lou House with William Greaves. Tell the brothers on the street now, one gay, sagay, y'all.
This is NET, the Public Television Network.